What's up, everyone? Otaku Talk with me, your boy, your host, OD. And today we will be reviewing and analyzing chapter 318 of My Hero Academia. And man, this was a really intense chapter. Yeah, man, I don't know what to say besides that. Deku has been really going through some stuff, so I'll say that for the review. But yeah, if this is your first time checking out this channel, or you've been here before but haven't done so already, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, bang that bell. I would really appreciate it. Would really appreciate it. So yeah, without much further ado, let's get into this, John.
頑張れそう頑張れ諦めないで口笛吹きさ歩き出そうよ Going now.
All right, guys, 318 of My Hero Academia, Dark Cloud. Man, these last few chapters have been really hitting me in the feels, but this chapter in particular really did it. And I can't help but say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, in reference to what happens at the end of the chapter, and actually pretty much what happened this entire chapter. So let me just get into it. So we start off this chapter with pretty much everyone and their mom telling Deku to chill the fuck out. He's out here, putting the team on his back, trying to do everything on his own. You have Endeavor saying chill. You have all of the vestiges of One for All saying chill. And Deku's like, nah, I gotta do this. I gotta put the team on the back. Everything relies on me. Like, I have to. We can't give the villains time. I'm good. I'm straight. This man hasn't been sleeping. This man hasn't been eating. He is on E, but he is just going and going and going. And that is not healthy. That is not safe. He needs to take a break from himself, but he is so besides himself. He's so worried. He knows the dangers that All for One poses. He knows what can possibly happen. We're seeing hero after hero, drop out. So more and more of a burden is being put on him. And poor Deku is just basically putting himself through a crucible, basically treating himself like Atlas and putting the world on his back. And it's super sad. And the fact that this isn't the happy Deku that we know. The Deku we knew was always kind, caring, lovable, a joy, a pleasure to be around. People always used to make fun of him like, crybaby Deku. Oh my God, Deku's always crying. Deku's always crying. I would do anything to see crybaby Deku again, which honestly, I think we might get next chapter. But the mangaka has done such a phenomenal job of every chapter just showing Deku's mental descent, his physical appearance. Honestly, as someone who suffered from it, I can kind of see the depression in Deku. He's forcing himself to get up day in and day out and do what needs to be done, but there's it's out of necessity. There's a depression to it. There's a sadness to it. Even in with the upkeep of himself, he's not taking, like I said earlier, he's not taking proper care of himself. He's not even taking care of his uniform, which is supposed to be, in my opinion, like a hero's pride. It's the first thing that people see when they see you. It's your symbol. It's what you represent. When All Might would show up, he was the representation of, hope. And you saw him and you were excited. No one's excited to see Deku. They're scared of Deku. Deku looks like a villain to them, which is super depressive because even in his head state, he hasn't changed per se. He still wants to save people. He's still checking if people are all right. That hasn't stopped. But just the fact that he's not taking care of himself and that when people see him, they're worried is scary. The panel we see of Deku, the first panel we see of Deku, I had to ask myself, am I still reading My Hero Academia or is this Chainsaw Man? Just because of how gritty and dark the paneling and the drawing of Deku is, how his eyes are. Originally, his costume was designed to look like All Might and the part on his mouth was supposed to look like a smile, but now it looks anything but. Honestly, I think he does look a little bit cooler, but he does look a bit evil, and I'm not a fan of that aspect, right? And so, the Vestiges are having a little conversation within him, and they're just like, yo, I forget the female one, I think number 7. Number seven, All Might Sensei. She's like, I feel like he's taking in my feelings too much. The rest of them are complaining like this, that, or the other. Like it's too much. He can't handle it. Like he's pushing himself too hard. And so they just the only person honestly that is okay with Deku's current trajectory is number two. And I'm wondering why. Maybe he was like, a solitary hero. Maybe he did things on his own. Maybe he saw some really screwed up things and knows that like it's necessary for Deku to be this vigilant to get things done. I don't know. But they do all talk about that. Well, not all of them. Number two suggests that, hey, there might be something we at Vestiges could do. And so when I read this part, I was like, okay, what can they do? They're pretty powerless. My thing was like, do they have the ability to auto use their quirks? So like maybe they can activate their quirks without Deku's permission or without him knowing or something like that. I was like, maybe they can communicate via All Might still, and maybe use All Might to contact help. So there was a lot of things I was thinking about, but we'll get into that shortly because it was a standardly paged chapter, but the pacing was really quick in my opinion. He shows up to fend against the next assassin. This one dude that can control people's mind to make them do whatever he wants, basically like a puppeteer. And so when he shows up, we're kind of met with this, oh, we knew it was going to happen. All for One has predicted that, in his, obstinance, in his solidarity, in his impatience and need to like tackle crime wherever it may be, he's going to be exhausted, he's going to be tired, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity to get him. And on top of that, they use the perfect plan to take over a hero, which is hostages. Basically, Deku can't do anything here because he'll hurt the people that are being controlled. The only thing he can do is make a beeline for the maestro of all this. But the problem with doing that is he's hidden himself behind human shields. And as of this moment, Deku doesn't really have any kind of like move or anything that can single-handedly target the maestro, whatever his name was. And I thought it was pretty convenient how he didn't have his air gauntlets. I'm wondering why he doesn't have his air gauntlets. Did he forget them? Has he not been maintaining them, keeping their upkeep? Did he just forget it because he's been in such a hurry to go from problem to problem to problem? He doesn't take everything he needs with him. So anyway, we think all is lost. Deku is getting like absorbed in the crowd of like mind controlled victims when all of a sudden, we see the homie Bakugo show up using an AP shot, knocks out the maestro, and while doing that, takes care of everyone who's mind controlled. And I was ecstatic, and all I have to say is this.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
So yeah, man, my boy Bakugo shows up in the nick of time. But my question is, how exactly did he get here? How did he know to get here? And that's where we go back to the second quirk user. And so there's so many theories I have. Like I said earlier, I was thinking that potentially they reached out to All Might and had All Might contact, his friends, because obviously, All Might has seen in these last several chapters the descent of Deku and probably knows more than anyone how much Deku needs his friends and support. The thing about All Might is, as much as like he was the greatest hero, the number one hero, he didn't necessarily try to do things on his own. Yes, it would end up that way, but he didn't force himself into that situation. And he was always willing to accept help from others and was always willing to coordinate with others. That's what all the classes in UA taught us, like how heroes are supposed to be. We're supposed to work together. It's not just about hitting hard and like being powerful. It's every aspect of superheroism, from the rescuing to the defeating of the heroes, and every person plays a part. And if you're trying to do everything on your own, it is just simply impossible. You see all of this is on Deku's mind. The whole you're next, the whole you're the linchpin in defeating All for One. He's still a kid, he's still a child, bro. And he didn't even know that he would make it this far. He never even knew he could like be a hero. It was a pipe dream. And for him to have achieved what he's always wanted, he has to go to the max with it. And so that's what I think is happening to Deku mentally. I don't think he's, going to go evil or anything like that, but I do think he is kind of on the cusp of having a mental break. So yeah, I do think that either the Vestiges reached out to All Might and All Might reached out to Bakugo and the rest of the UA classmates because he knew he would need his friends, or what happened is I'm hearing a lot of, how the My Hero Academia movies are canon? Do you remember in Heroes Rising where Deku shares his hair with Bakugo and they both have One for All for a little bit? So if we follow that train of thought, it stands to reason that, as a former user of One for All, the Vestiges are somehow able to contact, or maybe not really speak to him, but like influence Bakugo. But yeah, a lot of people on the online seem to have that perception that the movies are canon, which I googled, and according to the mangaka and according to most of the internet, the movies are canon, and that's what occurred. Bakugo is on the phone and he's like, I found him. I'm really really hoping that's the rest of the I'm really really hoping that's the rest of the the UA classmates, and that they're gonna show up and give Deku a good talking to. Like, I really hope that we get to next chapter and Bakugo is just giving like Deku the work, like being edgy. Being edgy is my thing. Being depressed is Shoto's thing. You can't do that. Like, obviously, I'm joking, but at the end of the day, like I've said before, this is a shonen, and like one of the biggest tropes of shonen is friendship, and you just cannot tackle life alone. And as like I said earlier, someone who has personally suffered and suffering from depression, I totally get the like the want and desire to kind of not burden people with your problems, to take everything on your own, and that just will not work here. Trying to work alone, making these mistakes is what is going to cause the descent of Deku, the descent of the superhero world, and it's not something that needs to happen. Also, by the way, I just thought it was super cool how for the longest time Bakugo was the biggest like liability in terms of being a superhero. His superpower wasn't really conducive to fighting in crowds and with people. Basically, like making grenade explosions in a like as a superpower is very dangerous to others. And so the fact that he uses this move, AP shot, that he specifically developed to mitigate, get rid of that disadvantage, I really thought was a really cool callback. Also, something I found to be super interesting was the fact that the number 2 quirk user does kind of share some physical similarities in terms of appearance with Bakugo. Also, we see like a full body panel of him, and it looks like he kind of has like a variation, a different like kind of grenade gauntlet thing. So maybe there's a connection there as well. Who knows? This review is going to be rather short. Like I said, was standard pages, but in terms of the pacing on what actually happened, not a lot. I think the chapter I'll be super excited for is next chapter. Unfortunately, this manga is going to go on a break next week, so we're gonna have to wait 2 weeks to figure out what happens next. But I really do think that it's going to be Bakugo giving Deku an earful, being like, "Who do you think you are? You think you can just drop out? You think you can just be a hero on your own? Who like blah 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 blah? You like you insult me, you underestimate me. What do you think you're better than me?" And then I think the people on the phone are gonna be that Bakugo was talking to. Not only are like Endeavor and All Might, but I'm hoping our other UA students who show up, and I hope he gets an earful from them. And then after getting an earful from them, getting mad love from them, because I think that's what he needs right now. he really isolated himself. He hasn't been communicating with people, he hasn't been talking to people, and I do think he really just needs that wake up call. And I think he just really needs a hug, man. I think he really needs a hug. I think he needs people. I think he's been so tunnel vision that he needs to step outside himself, look in a mirror, and be like, "Whoa, whoa! I have been bugging, and I have been, I really have been looking down on my friends. I haven't given them a chance. I've been trying to do things alone, and that's not how things work." So yeah, like I said, relatively short chapter. Not short chapter, short review, but that's I don't really have much else to say about it. I'm not gonna try to like make up anything. But yeah, guys, do you think the movies are canon? Do you think that the vestiges are the ones that summoned Bakugo, or do you think it's what I thought originally, and that they talked to All Might, who then contacted Bakugo? Um, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry. I know this wasn't really a high quality review, but I don't really know what else to say about this chapter. And then the other things I have to say are just pure speculation. But yeah, if please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And have a great day. Take care.